Hey y'all, good morning. Today's morning devotion is from John chapter 5, verses 1 through 15. And this is where a healing by the pool happens. And Jesus was going up to Jerusalem, and there is this pool called Bethesda. And at the pool is where people would go to get healed. Angels would come down and stir up the waters. And right after that disturbance, the first person who made it into the water would be healed. And Jesus goes down there and he finds this man who can't walk, can't move on his own. And he's been that way for 38 years. And Jesus goes up to this man and he asks him, "Do you want to get well?" And then the man explains why he's still not healed, because he doesn't have anyone to take him into the water. And when he does start making his way, someone else always gets there before him. And so Jesus just heals him. He's like, "All right, get up, pick up your mat and go." And he goes. At this point, the man has no idea that it was Jesus who actually healed him. And the Jewish leaders get on him for carrying his mat on the Sabbath. And then he's like, "Well, the person who healed me told me to do this." And they're like, "Well, who healed you?" And he's like, "I don't know. He slipped away in the crowd." And then eventually Jesus found him again at the temple. Great thing he went to the temple, y'all. Anyway, Jesus found him at the temple, and he just gave him the instruction hey, stop sinning or something worse may happen to you. And then he realized that it was Jesus who had healed him. So we see a couple things here. We see that this man's condition was the result of something that he did, right? It was the outcome of his own choices, his own sinful lifestyle. But Jesus still decided to heal him. When we're suffering, sometimes we're unable to get ourselves out of whatever we're stuck in. This man, he was this way for over 30 years. For 38 years, he was this way. And despite his own efforts, he could not find the healing that he sought. And sometimes, that's true for us. We may want to get out of something. We may want to get unstuck, but we ourselves are unable to do that for ourselves. And that's why we need Jesus. When it comes to the sin issues of our life, that stuff is in us. That's in our heart. That's part of our natural being. That's who we are. We can't clean ourselves up from our nature by ourselves. We need God to help us to do that. We need Jesus. We need the Holy Spirit at work in our lives to help get us unstuck from those sinful situations in that sinful place. And then when Jesus came to this man, he did ask him a question, because when someone's in the same situation for too long, at that point you got to wonder, well, do you want better? Do you want to be healed? This man has been this way for 38 years. Jesus made sure, he's like, do you want to be healed? And then the man explained, yeah, it's just every time I try, I can't, right? Now, Jesus asked that to know what he wants, what he desires for his life, for his future. Jesus isn't deciding to help us based off of what we've done in the past. He's deciding to help us based off of what we want for our future. When Jesus saw that this man wanted better, he gave him the healing that would allow him to have better, that would allow him to literally walk into that better. God didn't create us to live lives stuck in sin. He didn't create us to live lives of suffering. He created us to walk in freedom, to walk in life, to know him intimately, not to be cut off from him forever. But unfortunately, due to our own decisions, due to our own sinful nature, we might land ourselves in some unfortunate circumstances. But the beautiful thing is that hope is not lost for us, because God is still willing to come into our mess, to come to where we are, to give us the opportunity to step into what he has for us, to return back to that life that he originally designed and originally intentioned for us. The only thing is that we have to want it. We have to want it. And God knows our hearts. He knows what we really want, what we really desire. So we're not going to play him acting like we want a better life when we're not willing to do what's required to live out that better life. At the end of this healing, when Jesus found him in the temple. Jesus didn't even have to tell him do better for yourself. He went to the temple. Why? Because he wanted a better life. The things that we do after our healing, after our deliverance, after our salvation should be an indicator of the same the same desires, the same want we had in the beginning before Jesus stepped in. But in the end, Jesus did instruct him. He's like, all right, now stop sinning or else something worse may happen to you. There is an instruction on our end. When God helps us out of mess, when God helps us out of the situations and the things that we get ourselves into, we should not continue to live in that life of sin. We should not continue to do the same things that landed us in that predicament in the first place. Y'all, we have to be honest with the fact that not everything that bad happens to us is because of the enemy. Sometimes it's because of our own wrong decisions, our own sinful behaviors. And when we're honest with that, then we're able to change. We're able to be intentional about walking in a new path, a path that God made available for us. This is just a beautiful story of redemption. And Jesus did not pressure. Jesus is not walking around just like healing whomever. He's healing people who want to be healed. He's delivering people who want to be delivered. He's responding to faith. So as we're living, if we're stuck or if we're in something that we say we don't want to be at, we need to investigate our desires. Do we really not want to be here? Do we really want better for our lives? And then if that is the case, when we invite Jesus in to do something about it, he certainly will. He is willing and he is able. And then we see this little battle with the religious leaders over authority. And the man, he's like, listen, the guy who healed me told me to do this. I don't know about y'all, but he's already recognizing Jesus as the higher authority. And he doesn't even know really that that's Jesus yet. We have to understand that Jesus is the highest authority. All of these man-imposed religious rules and laws, like Jesus releases us from that. He releases us from man-imposed religion, not God-imposed, not God-directed or instructed, but all these extra layers that man wants to layer on what God created to be simple and pure. But yeah, those are really the two trains of thoughts that I'm taking away from this text. Is one, Jesus' highest authority. He releases us from man-imposed religion. And then the greater theme of this deliverance, if we really want better, like God is willing and able to allow us, to give us the opportunity to walk in this better life, this best life that he has with us, which is in relationship with him, a life that is free from sin. Y'all have a great and wonderful day today. Bye, y'all.